Hey, as you know, former congressman and vampire from Buffy, Matt Gaetz has quit his quest to become the next attorney general. This is due mostly to scandals involving sex with minors, sex trafficking, and some illicit drug use. He has to be one of the creepiest members of Congress. I mean, I just envision him creeping around the House floor going, "Look at my videos. Look at him. I'm having sex with teenagers." The other members are like, "Oh, leave us alone already." But I thought he'd go with Judge Judy because she's got 7 daytime Emmys. How could he not? But instead, he's gone with Fox News host wannabe and Uber MAGA supporter Pam Bondi, which only surprises me because she might actually be qualified for this role. I mean, I don't agree with her politics or anything she says, but she does have legal experience. She was the Attorney General for Florida, which is the third largest state in the country, for 8 years. So how did that nomination get through? Mr. President, Pam Bondi would be a great candidate for Attorney General. I mean, she doesn't have any sex scandals, but she was Attorney General of Florida for a really long time, and she supported you. She was your lawyer in the first impeachment trial. She knows her stuff. And Trump would be like, "Oh, no, I don't do a Trump, so I don't do that." And she's really pretty. She looks a lot like Ivanka. Oh, great, she's in. So that's how she slipped in. And there's another Trump nominee who's now embroiled in a sex scandal. And by that, of course, I'm talking about Linda McMahon, his pick for Secretary of Education, because she seems to know a lot about education. Let's see. I wonder, what is the vetting process like at Mar-a-Lago? Are they like, "Mrs. McMahon, I'm really sorry. I do not want to have to ask you this question, but are there any scandals, maybe sex scandals in your background?" Well, there was the one scandal at the WWE with young boys and sex. Oh, perfect! You're in. Is that how it went down? What? But I say that, what? Which brings me, of course, to everybody's favorite Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I have so many questions for Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and none really involve his vaccine hesitancy or the brain worm or his proclivity of desecrating animal corpses. "Oh, look, there's a dead animal. Let's take it home and eat it. Tie it to the car." No, what's his beef with sunscreen? Does he know it exists? Does he not like it? Is sunscreen another Dr. Fauci evil plot to kill all of us? What is it? Put some on. You look like you've been in an air fryer for decades. Maybe that's what's really wrong with your throat. I don't know, but it's creepy. Poor RFK Jr. I wonder if Trump is going to rethink his nomination after the video just surfaced that RFK Jr. called him Hitler and said his supporters are stupid Nazis. Of course, he's not going to do that. Exhibit A, J.D. Vance. He said very similar things, and where is he now? He's the VP elect. Yikes. All of this mayhem and whatever else you want to call it really makes me pine for the good old days, the before time, before Donald Trump was a politician, before we could just ignore him on whatever reality shows he was on. But then I think about what was going on before Donald Trump hit the stage. We had a current congressman and former assistant wrestling coach Jim Jordan ignoring sex scandals at the university that he worked at. The doctor there apparently was molesting all the wrestlers, and he just let that go. And now he's a congressman. Or you have the time that the GOP elected for their Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert, who had to quit after it was found out that he had also molested young boys when he was a high school wrestling coach. Some barely teen boys he molested. And keep in mind, it wasn't like they found out and it was like his second day on the job. He was Speaker of the House for 8 years. 8 years. child molester was Speaker of the House of Republicans. And it makes me think, that's why you're so obsessed with pedophiles and grooming, because it happens all the time with you people. It's all projection or confession with those people. But I do have to say that if I had kids who wanted to go into wrestling at any level, I'd be like, so tell me, are the coaching staff, are they Republicans? What's up with that? What's up with that? But in all seriousness, after Matt Gaetz, the most dangerous cabinet pick for our republic has to be Tulsi Gabbard. Hear me out on this. You might look at former Fox and Friends weekend host Pete Hegseth and think, those allegations against him are pretty serious. And he likes to throw axes in Midtown Manhattan and misses target and then hit a guy from West Point. We don't know if he should be Secretary of Defense. He shouldn't. Or you might look at Dr. Oz and think, he made a lot of ridiculous claims about companies supporting companies that sponsored his show. And maybe he's got the ethics of, Donald Trump. They're the same, whatever. Just grift. And I agree with that. I don't think Dr. Oz has any place being around Medicaid or Medicare. However, neither of those men is competent enough to dismantle the bureaucracies they're about to lead or would lead. For instance, the Pentagon. The Pentagon is staffed with career military people. They're not going to see their lives' work dismantled by this guy. Maybe the right is right. There is a deep state, and it's going to keep us safe from these people. So I think the Pentagon is going to be okay. And as for Medicare and Medicaid, they give health services to over half of the country. There's no way in hell they're going to be dismantled by people too incompetent to understand them. But Tulsi Gabbard's a different story. I don't think any of our allies are going to share any intel with us as long as we got someone who cozies up to Putin and then says, it's okay that Bashar al-Assad gassed his own people because it's not a direct threat to the United States. News tip Tulsi, it doesn't have to impact you directly for you to care about it. It's still genocide. I don't like genocide. And I don't think we're safer under you. I think we're less safe. I don't even think our intel community is going to want to talk to you. Which may lead you to think that I think it's all doom and gloom, but I don't. I worked in politics for many, many, many years, more than I'm going to put here. And I know there's always another election around the corner. In 2 years, we'll be electing a new Congress, and these people might be gone. And they know that. I have a lot of hope that the Senate, which is clearly not going to be the rubber stamp for Donald Trump that he wants it to be. I know that because they did not elect Rick Scott to be majority leader. They put in John Thune, who I think is a reasonable human being. They will not go along with recess appointments. And I think they're going to stand up to him on other things, like Rand Paul just came out this week and said, I don't know if the military really should be used for these mass deportations. These are all things that give me hope for this next administration. Marco Rubio at State is a great pick. It's not all doom and gloom, and we just need to lick our wounds as Democrats and figure out what we did wrong and fix it. And in the immortal words of one of the sane Kennedys, we have come too far, sacrificed too much to disdain the future now. Let's go Mets!